It's on like Donkey Kong. Oh, get it? He was an ape.
Welcome to the Fish Nerds. It's the show about fish, fishing, and eating fish. Always interesting, usually funny, mostly true. I'm Luke Chammings, owner of Chamo's Lures. Get into it. And here's Dave and Clay.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Clay. And anything is fair game. And it's a good bet. We're still recovering from a very good St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. How was your St. Patrick's Day?
Very nice. I just came home and just did what I normally do, which is come home and just chill.
Now, do you have Irish heritage?
I do not, although my wife is Irish.
Oh, so then you by marriage you do.
Yes, by marriage I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do not think I have any. But I once a year we eat corned beef.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's not actually good. So if you have it once a year, you feel like it's good. But if you ate it every day, you'd be like eating like a pauper. You know, that's how poor people must eat.
Oh, right.
You know, just put it in a pot and boil it. So we had boiled dinner last night, invited some friends over, and had a fine time, which is why we didn't record last night.
Right.
And then afterwards, someone said, "Hey, why don't we have ice cream floats made with Guinness?" And I said, "Yeah," because it sounds good.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Maybe it sounds good.
Have you ever done it?
No.
Okay, here's my recommendation. Don't. So we had them, and then I'm cleaning the kitchen, I'm chatting, and hanging out, and then I had to run as fast as I could to the bathroom.
Oh no!
And I lost the Guinness, and I lost my corned beef dinner, and my wife got upset with me. So, because when you and I wasn't drunk or anything, but but I drank, it made myself sick. It wasn't like I drank till I was sick, but I made myself sick by drinking.
Right, it was just nasty drink.
It tasted good, but my stomach didn't like it.
No,
like it must expand or something crazy going on. It's beer and ice cream are best bad mixes.
Yeah, I root beer float maybe.
Maybe my kids had that; they didn't puke.
No, well there you go.
No. So. Anyway, that was my Thanksgiving. My St. Patrick's Day.
Well, did anything turn green besides your face?
Just my face. Yeah, we didn't do the leprechaun thing. Like, my wife's a kindergarten teacher, and so we always have we're inventing extra holiday traditions every year. We've avoided the elf on the shelf, which I'm very happy about.
Oh yeah, that is very good.
But my kids make leprechaun traps every year.
Really?
And so. Yeah, which come on, I mean, honestly. So then every year, the kids set the traps, then we have to go, find potatoes and put them in the trap, and...
What?
We have to, because it's, Irish. And then, because the leprechaun plays tricks, and then we got to find, green sprinkles and sprinkle, a footprint path around the trap, and it's a whole thing, and I'm like, I don't like more tradition. I don't want more traditions.
Right.
I want less. Someone once said, Americans, you guys suck because you have no traditions. I'm like, yeah, that would be great. How great if that was actually true would that be? Think about it.
It would be great if we didn't have to worry about all these dumb holidays and things that were just days off.
Exactly. Just live your life, have fun, and skip all the things you have to do.
Yeah, but no, you're out making little shamrock footprints.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned that. I was looking on Facebook. You know how they have trending stuff on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw leprechaun porn, which was trending.
Oh, did you click on it?
Well, I thought it was safe enough on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Because it's trending and it's just a bunch of stories, and I don't think I get linked back to any of the evil.
Right.
Links.
You don't think so?
I don't know. Anyway, I did clickbait. I did, and apparently that is a fetish.
Okay, so I just Googled it.
Oh no!
And one of the stars is her name is Busty Kelly Madison.
No.
And then yeah. This is bad.
That's bad. I didn't actually Google it. I stayed in the Facebook world, which is
Do not Google it.
Yeah, I think that's the way you should be at.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys with red beards.
Oh my god. You ever see that commercial Bad Idea jeans that ran on Saturday Night Live?
No.
It was a spoof, and it was these designer jeans, and they were called Bad Idea jeans. It's kind of like Gap jeans or something. Mm-hmm. And it was just a whole series. It was like a bunch of guys playing basketball, and they'd sit around and they'd be wearing these, Bad Idea jeans, and they'd say things like, I was going to wear protection, but I figure, when was I going to be back in Haiti? And stuff like that. And sometimes, Clay, I think you would be an excellent spokesperson for Bad Idea jeans.
I love bad ideas. Dave, if you think about it, this whole Fish Nerds thing started with your bad idea. So here I am. I always say, you've said it before. I'm the guy who always says yes.
That's true. You're always up for it. You're always for, hey, let's do this. You're in. You're in.
All right, let's go.
You know what? You're usually in, and then you add to it.
Well, because I have to make it worse.
Right.
You should cut yourself. Yeah, here's some lemon. Okay.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I brought up the whole leprechaun thing, but it does make the leprechaun traps maybe a little more interesting.
Way more interesting. And later on tonight, I'll be Googling that same thing again.
We better get on with the show. Effin' West.
Effin' West.
F&A.
How are you guys?
We are fantastic.
Absolutely wonderful. It's a little wet out here today.
Oh, really? It was 70 degrees here today.
Shut the front door.
Yeah,
crazy.
it was awesome.
I guess your ice fishing days are numbered, huh?
Limited.
Yeah, although Clay went yesterday.
I did.
Where?
And I caught fish.
Canada?
On a pond called Pea Porridge Pond, and I even caught a chain pickerel. And my friend caught a nice rainbow trout.
I don't want to hear about chain pickerel. It's not fair. We don't have those out here, do we?
I ate smoked trout today.
You ate them?
Yeah, I had some smoked trout from a smokehouse across the bay.
Sweet.
I was going to save some for James, but I didn't see him around, so
yeah,
I ate it all.
Yes.
Yeah, right. You were going to save some.
Well, so the last time we talked about maybe coming up with some challenges for Effin' West and you for, I guess, I don't know, what are we called, Clay? Just Effin' or
Fish.
F?
Yeah, just Effin' nerds.
F it. Just F it.
The gracious host.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
The gracious host.
We're
You are the fish nerds.
That's right. We're just the lackeys.
Yeah, we had to come up with a flashy name because we are the lackeys. You are the fish nerds.
Yep. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Well, in this show, one of the great things is we're going to show, or we're going to have your piece on that the amazing James when he was out in Hawaii, and you two were talking about it. So that's actually something our listeners can look forward to.
Thank you for including the definite article in the front of my name. That is my first name.
Yes.
So it's very good. Your parents had great foresight into naming you amazing.
Yeah.
So Clay and I were talking. We have an official challenge for you, and we're going to give. I think the challenge is we should give each other like a week or whatever the next time we're going to cycle back to each other to do. So
that seems fair.
Not much time.
a week's not much. Let's do 2 weeks. How about that?
2 weeks is good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I was thinking 2 weeks
2
to a
weeks.
month.
Yeah. I mean, a couple years would be good.
We're mere fish nerd lackeys. You guys have a lot of stuff to dig into for your shows.
Maybe by the time my kids turn 4, we can finish the first one.
So it'll be whenever we get to it. How's that?
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So our challenge to you is we want you to catch, and this is pretty easy, all right? So we expect this to happen probably pretty quick.
Like tomorrow.
Okay.
Right.
Uh-oh.
We want you, and you got to record or however you want to document this, but we want you to catch a fish, any fish, using any part of a banana.
That's easy. I'll do that right now. What's the tide like right now? Is it high tide yet? I just saw a kid feeding a banana to a squirrel outside. I'll just ask him for his banana peel to go feed a fish.
I have a few. I already have a few ideas.
Yeah? What,
Yeah.
for challenges or for how to do it?
For accomplishing this.
Well, what does this mean? Does that mean you guys have to wait? You guys have to do the same thing, right?
Well, we could do
How do
that.
we know
way,
you're
but
not? How do we know you're not like already? You guys haven't already done this.
Let's talk a little bit about the banana thing first. So
Okay.
the theory. So as you guys know, it's considered bad luck to bring a banana on a fishing boat. And one of the theories is the banana smell gets on your hand, or on the bait, or on the boat, and fish are repelled by the smell of bananas. Now, if you've ever read the Anarchist Cookbook, let's have another theory. If you ever read the Anarchist Cookbook, have you guys read it? Are you
No.
fans?
I've perused.
Ooh.
Okay, so in the Anarchist Cookbook, it recommends smoking bananadine, which is banana peels, to get high. Now, so if you were like
What?
me at 19, you had a party that lasted
Is this the
24
part?
hours.
Is this the part that Josh read? I think Josh is laughing because he read this same part.
Yeah. So you at
Wow.
that party, you consumed a box of bananas, 40 pounds to be exact, with your friends, and then at the end, you peeled the inside of the banana peels and you dried them and you tried smoking them, and you realized that smoking banana peels only makes you angry. So we think that that the Anarchist Cookbook is the reason you can't catch a fish on a banana. But your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to use a piece of banana peel or any piece of banana to catch a fish. So any theories are good, though.
Are we talking just the fruit, or are we talking any part of the plant?
Any part.
Any
part.
Because there's other parts of a banana plant,
if you can
banana
get 'em.
tree or a leaf or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
let's stick with the herb itself.
Okay.
Yeah, with
Okay.
the fruiting part of the herb. A lot of people. Dave, did you know bananas are herbs? Not a fruit.
Not a fruit.
Well, if you're gonna smoke it, I guess it is an herb and not a fruit.
We have a couple of options of where you do the challenge, and when you're done, you get back to us, and then you give us a challenge, and we just trade off that way. Or we could, as you just suggested, share in the challenge and see if we could both do it. I don't have an answer to this.
I almost feel like you could do a back and forth and then maybe a team challenge that we both do.
I think it would be fair to do it both ways, because if we just do it that we're challenging each other, it's going to get dangerous. I think we'll start getting a little too competitive, and we'll start pushing each other a little too far.
I think both teams doing a challenge from time to time is going to keep everybody honest.
Yeah, just to be on the safe side. We need a safe word.
Banana is a good word. I need to clarify something here. A herb is a plant whose stem does not contain any woody tissue. Banana trees are therefore not trees. They are herbaceous plants and should be perhaps called banana herbs. They are
This from your local biology teacher.
Yeah, well done, Clay.
Yeah,
Nice Googling.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah.
You know it's fact, folks. I think from time to time a challenge will arise that maybe only one person can do, maybe because of the geographic locations. But I think a challenge like catching fish with a banana, that's a good
start.
That's a good head-to-head
Yeah.
versus challenge.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I think
reasonable.
When I was in college, one of my good friends was a hardcore leftist, and whenever I played basketball with him, we never played competitively because we considered each other the proletariat. We should be on the same side, right? Because we're the people. So we would always play the state.
There you go.
So it was always us against the state.
I like it. We had a similar version of Monopoly that was like that, How did it work out? It was like, we called it Socialist Monopoly, where everyone had to share in the earnings. So it just went on and on and on because no one ever won.
Well, no one ever wins Monopoly anyway.
It's true. It's just like we just all shared. It was great. It's the worst game of Monopoly
exactly.
ever.
So in this way, it's us, the Fish Nerd Nation, right? Us against, the evil empire. So... anyway, I think if either team catches a fish with a banana, we call it a win.
I agree.
All right. So
Absolutely.
what happens if one team catches it and the other doesn't?
Group hug.
Group hug.
I think the winner of any joint challenges gets to call the next challenge.
Yes.
Okay. So we must have won. So Dave, you and I must have inherently started off as the winners.
Yeah, well, that's,
Well, of
that's
course.
a given. Yes.
Well,
By default.
Considering we introduced ourselves as lackeys, yes.
Yeah, it's only fair. But that's not a bad idea. That way, like, the winner gets to pick the opposing team's first challenge, then the opposing team can come back at them after that, and then we go back into a
Team challenge.
Okay. Now, is it fair to pick a challenge that we're already good at?
Like catching a fish on a banana, for example?
Well, no, I'm not pretending I'm good at that. I'm going to abstain from answering that question.
I mean, why? Well, it depends. We'll have to discuss it on a time basis.
Being a pretty competitive person myself, I don't think a true rivalry is ever going to be formed if we didn't do something like that. Of course, both teams would have to push challenges that give one the upper hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
Fair
that you
enough.
can stick it to the other guy.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It's only fair to be unfair.
And then it makes it all so much sweeter when you can actually overcome that bias.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
like
beat
that.
the odds.
Right. Okay. All right. So the first one's a team challenge. Both teams fish with banana.
All right.
Okay.
Fishing
All
with
right.
bananas.
There you go.
Banana fishing.
It's on.
It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. Oh, get it? He was an ape.
Oh, banana.
No, sorry. It's bananas. We're still on bananas. Sorry, we're still stuck on bananas over here.
So let me just say, too, these challenges that we do are always open to the fans. So feel free to chime in on Facebook. If you're successful in these challenges, let us know. Maybe we'll throw you a little swag. But take them up. Do the challenge with us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. So they can
like that.
post it on the Fish Nerds Facebook page or podcast page.
That's right.
Yeah, now we're all going to get shown up. Thanks, Clay.
Well,
We're all going to lose.
Is it connected to the TV? To the TV?
Oh, no. For podcast, for radio. Yeah. Fish Nerds. Yeah, it's cool.
Amazing, James.
Fish guy Josh.
Here we are again, attempting another correspondence piece.
Here we go.
I take it, judging by the sound of that clip, that today we're going to talk a little bit about your trip to Hawaii.
Yeah, and the Honolulu Fish Auction.
Very good. Now, I know based on your pre-trip plans and seeing some of your Facebook posts that you were really hoping to make this quite the Fish Nerds vacation.
It took months of planning. I'm not going to lie.
So much so, in fact,
Yes.
that I know through my personal connection to you that your wife pulled you aside and reminded you that this was actually a family vacation and, in fact, not a fishing trip.
I think I recall hearing that a few times.
So my question to you is, how in the heck did you manage to include a trip to the Honolulu Fish Auction in your, quote, family vacation?
Well, I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Pier 38. Here we are. Hi. Can I register? Cool.
We're gonna hold on to this
Awesome.
until you come back with either that or when you bid for a fish.
Okay. So we're in a house full of tuna, and I'm the only one here not wearing mucking boots. I'm wearing my sandals that I came in. Hopefully no one will notice. I'm sure if they do, I'll get kicked out. And here comes a cart of fish going by. These are crazy. This guy doesn't look as fresh. Oh my gosh, that's a shark bite. That is a shark bite out of that tuna. Da 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 da.
It sounds like there was a lot of cool stuff going on there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what did you see? Like, what were the sights, sounds? What kind of fish did you see?
It was, first of all, it was cold. I had to put my feet in that nice little clean water bath, and I was wearing sandals. That was really exciting. The coolest thing was that there's just fish everywhere. There were about 3 rows of pallets just loaded with fish and stuff anywhere from the size of a mahi to a swordfish that was just literally cut in half. It was so big.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. Opa, there were a few machong. I don't even know what those are. Had never seen them before. And there were lots and lots of tuna, just tons and tons of big eye tuna. And one of the most interesting parts was just the auction itself. Didn't pick your fish?
Yeah.
Which ones are you looking at?
No, I'm noticing that S Hunt, that's the boat that brought the fish in.
Okay.
He brought in most of all these fish.
Wow.
You're looking at several different rows. That's how much fish that guy brought in.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, what was this S Hunt thing this guy's talking about?
That was the Sea Hunt. That was one of the boats that had just filled up the entire place with fish.
Oh, okay.
So there's a bunch of boats waiting on the docks, and each one unloads one after another while people are bidding on fish. 70,000 pounds every day is like their average.
Wow.
Today it was probably closer to 100,000 because it's the holidays. Pretty cool.
Wow, that's a lot of fish.
It is. Yeah, it's the second largest fish auction in the world behind Tokyo.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, more importantly, it is an auction, and I do know that you like to participate. Yes,
love
I know.
Auctions.
So, did you actually bid on anything while you were there?
I did. I got myself a mahi. It was more in my price range. You know, the 115-pound tuna, not so much my price point, but a little 7 or 8 pound mahi was. It was cool.
All right.
Yeah.
How did the bidding process go? I mean, were you in a race with somebody else?
Oh,
or?
yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of guys standing around each pallet as they go down the line, and I literally had to fight my way in. I got knocked out a couple times. They were pushing me out. These guys. It was pretty intense. It was pretty intense, and
wow.
So they knew I was looking for a fish, and they were actually nice enough to let me have
They threw
the
you a
frozen.
bone.
Yeah, it was like the crappiest one they had, and they actually let me have a fish for a whopping $1.70 a pound.
Wow.
Yeah, not
Very
bad.
good.
Not bad.
Right on. Well, so I heard a guy talking at the end of that clip. So who was that right there you were talking to?
That was my new buddy Chad.
So the darker the grade, the better the fish is. And you can see how much oil's in the fish. So if it's a little lighter, then it has more fat to it.
And these are already tagged, so that means they've already been purchased?
Yeah, you see it's a lot more red.
Okay.
So that lot of they're actually pulling out the quality of the fish.
I'm sorry, but that is like a core. That is like a core sample of the meat.
That's correct.
If you're fishing for one and you want to make sure it's in the best condition possible for sale, what do you do?
Don't bring them. Take your time bringing in a fish. Don't rush the fish into the boat. You're gonna stress out the fish. So you want to try and keep the blood in the fish. And if it gets exhausted, then the fish actually kind of the fish kind of gets burnt. Yeah, it kind of gets exhausted. So the local fishermen would say the fish is burnt because we brought it in too fast.
Wow, it sounds like your buddy Chad really knew what he was talking about. Was he like a commercial fisherman there or what?
No, man, this is what he and his family do. I mean, I'm sure in the past they probably were into fishing. He even he told me that his uncle who was with him used to fish a lot, but it's just gotten to the point where commercial guys have to go out and get stuff. It's a lot of effort to go out there and pick up one fish. When I was out there a few years back, we caught one 115-pound tuna in an 8-hour trip. And, of course, I didn't even get to eat that fish because the captains out there keep them and sell them at the market. So, that's how it goes.
We're looking for ahis right now.
Ahi, okay. How many ahi are you going to get?
We're going to pick up maybe 3 or 4 ahis.
Wow,
yeah.
Okay. And
this is just for our family. This is not for business. This is just traditional, The Japanese eat sashimi, so they eat fish raw. So it just actually brings in the new year. They believe it actually enhances their year to come. So that's why they eat sashimi. They eat raw fish. Yeah.
You ever had sashimi, Josh?
I love sashimi.
Have you ever had it twitching?
Not twitching, but I did have the chef cut it right off of the tuna laying there on the big ice table. That was pretty
Ice
cool.
table? No, I'm talking like fresh out of the ocean. One time I got the chance to do that. It was pretty insane. I almost upchucked. I held back. But
I probably have no problem with that.
I mean, it was pretty crazy. I had a good time with it until the guy who was cutting it up for me took his machete and started chopping up the eyeballs and the skull and the skeleton, and I just saw like ooze and goo, and I just swallowed a chunk of his fish. It was being used for chum. We were going for some deep sea stuff down in the Caribbean. But anyway,
right on.
I digress.
Well, I heard that Chad also hooked you up with a great fish recipe. What was that all about?
Yeah, so the big thing is smoked marlin, and Yeah, I got to try some at this little restaurant that was right next to the fish auction called Nico's, and they're really popular for their fish and eggs dish, which I definitely took part in after this auction. I mean, getting up at 3 a.m, you work up an appetite looking at fish. But yeah, he gave me a really nice recipe for what he does when he buys a 100-pound marlin.
Yeah, a lot of people buy the smoked marlin out here for, I don't know, $7 a pound, and we're here picking it up for $1.50 a pound. Normally we smoke it and then we make like fish patties and stuff like that. Yeah.
Can you give me your best marlin smoked marlin recipe?
Yeah, it's actually a teriyaki sauce. So you got soy sauce, garlic, ginger, and then some pepper flakes. And then we leave it in the refrigerator for about a day and a half, and then we smoke it for maybe about 2-3 hours. Yeah, like 110 degrees. It's a cold smoke, so it keeps the moisture in the fish. Yeah, so you're cooking the outside of the fish, and when you cut it up, the moisture is still in the fish. Yeah, so
moist fish.
Well, that was really cool. I think you did your job. I'm actually getting pretty hungry.
I am too.
All right, well, let's end this piece and go walk over and get some sushi.
This is Amazing James.
And this is Fish Guy Josh.
And this is Effin' West.
Fish in the news.
I love Fish in the News. Give me some good stuff this week, Dave.
All right, it won't be as good as last week. Last week was a prime.
It's tough to top dildo pond stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, but this week, the first one comes from Discovery News. All right.
Oh, sure. Reputable news source.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's Prozac makes Siamese fighting fish timid.
Oh, finally.
I know. So
we're always looking for that way of making fish timid.
Well, I suppose this makes perfect sense. So, according to the story, the popular drug fluoxetine, commonly sold under the name Prozac, has been detected in aquatic ecosystems worldwide. And now new research shows that Siamese fighting fish exposed to the drug become timid and weak, hurting their chances for survival.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, apparently. So I guess if we're just filling our environment full of these chill out drugs, things that have hung their reputation on being, fighting fish, those kind of things.
Yeah,
they're out of luck. They're like, nah, fish, meh.
Yeah, meh. Yeah. Well, I always say if you're gonna treat, depression or anxiety with anger with medication, you always want to partner that with a little bit of group therapy or some talk therapy.
Right.
So we need to get these Siamese fish all together to talk it out once,
Well, and they're assuming that the fighting fish actually don't want to be more timid and weaker. Maybe they want to be that. Maybe they've been looking for a way to kind of, control their anger issues.
Trying to break out of their stereotypes.
Yeah. So because Prozac is very useful for people in certain situations, maybe it's equally useful for fish.
Maybe. Now, the fish are taking it on purpose, I gather?
Well, you can only assume that they if they wanted it, they would be swimming in that water that's highest in concentration. So, yeah.
Right. So that's where the most... Now, if they're all timid, does that make them all equals and therefore all have the equal chance of survival? If they're all in the same water with that Prozac... and if they have got predators, aren't those predators in that same water? So don't you have a bunch of fish just laying around going, I was going to eat you, but I'm just feeling so comfortable with myself right now that maybe I'm not going to bother with that today.
Yeah, I think as long as you evenly distribute it, it's probably not a problem at all.
All right, so that's the recommendation.
Right. So that's the summary of that. Now we have Fox News Latino.
Ooh, hola, Dave.
Hola, Clay.
Well, now, Fox News Latino. I didn't know Fox News liked Latinos.
Apparently they do.
They're going to, let's build a wall between us and the Latino Fox News.
And I think you heard a little video start up there. I hate these websites that kick off with a video, right?
Yeah, those jerks.
I know. So it was for adult diapers. So
Nice.
Anyway, Fox News Latino is a thing, and their story is U.S. charity deploying fish to front lines to fight against Zika.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just, because I haven't read the story.
Right.
So Zika virus is spread by, I'm guessing, mosquitoes.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so that makes sense to use fish to fight that.
Yes. What fish do you think they would use?
Tilapia. No? Goldfish.
No.
Common shiners.
No.
No. Trout.
No.
Rainbow trout.
No.
They're using genetically enhanced salmon.
They're using great
what are
white
these?
sharks. Oh, damn it.
Really?
No, they realized no. That would be a bad move.
I'm just imagining a great white shark swimming around trying to find something to eat, and all around him is mosquito larvae. Like, oh, that's disappointing. It's like if you give me lentils, that's how I feel.
Yes.
I'm like a great white shark eating mosquito larvae. Same thing.
Just never full.
Yeah. I'm so hungry.
All right, so according to the story, I'll just read it here. The Zika virus is spreading around the globe, becoming a major health crisis, and now one humanitarian organization is deploying mosquito-eating fish throughout Central America.
A humanitarian organization.
Yes.
They should be a pescatarian organization.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Operation Blessing International.
Blessing, okay.
Blessing is a Christian humanitarian organization based in Virginia.
Oh, they're deploying Jesus fish.
They are deploying Jesus fish. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
The fish they are deploying are gambusia.
Gambusia. We know this fish from something. Where else we've seen this fish?
Well, I think it's in the killifish family, I think.
That makes sense. Yeah, top minnow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also called a sambo fish, which sounds racist to me. I'm not sure.
It sounds really racist.
Yeah, I know. But it is Fox News. So, and so what they're doing is they're deploying it in El Salvador and Mexico.
Okay.
And it says the fish feast on the larvae of the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, which are the ones that carry the Zika virus, and also dengue and yellow fever.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just walking around and they're dropping them in everywhere, in barrels, buckets, old tires.
Yeah. Now, I know they were using fish after Hurricane Katrina. They were using fish in swimming pools to control mosquito populations.
I think these were likely the same fish, yeah.
Likely, yeah. They must know what fish work best. Now, here's another question. These sambo fish, or gambusia, are they native to those areas?
Well,
or are they creating a second problem?
Well, according to, the fourth or fifth paragraph here, it says, on the front line against Zika in El Salvador, Operation Blessing is operating fish farms, producing indigenous sambo fish in large numbers.
That's cool.
Yeah, so...
that was my next concern. I was like, okay, if they're not native, I see another problem happening.
Right. And it says, in Mexico, more than 60 health workers are distributing 10 to 20 gambusia to every family living in the villages.
That's going to take a long time. They need more employees.
They're going to need more employees. What I think is interesting is that there is a bacteria that does just as well, and it's called BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, I think.
Okay.
And it's those little mosquito dunks, those little hockey pucks. Mm-hmm. And you can just drop those in, and you don't have to worry. I'm wondering why they don't use those. And do you think it's because they're doing the Christian fish thing?
That's a very good question. Maybe they're. I was going to make some kind of joke, but I have nothing. I have no idea. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because
maybe it's an access thing or an expense thing. But it seems like it would be cheaper and easier to do the drops.
Yeah, exactly. Just hand them a bag full of those little hockey pucks and say, "Hey, when you get a chance, throw these in the water."
Maybe they want a more organic method, or I have no idea.
I don't know. And that bacteria only attacks mosquitoes, so it's not like
really.
It's not like it's any other kind of problem.
Maybe no one told them.
Maybe not.
I'm working so hard on this fish farm. Oh, I have these little tablets. You can just. Maybe part of their goal is to employ a bunch of people.
Oh, well, that could be.
It sounds like what they're doing takes a huge amount of manpower. And so maybe they're keeping all these people in work.
Well, and then I suppose you could eat the fish when you're done.
That doesn't seem like part of the plan. If they're giving just a couple fish per family, 20 fish per family, and these are little minnows.
Yeah, the fish only get about 2 or 3 inches. So
yeah, that'd be a lot of fish.
It would be. I'm going to say they're doing it because of the Jesus fish connection.
I'm going to agree with you. Also, it's way more fun.
Yeah, it is. And it wouldn't have made fish in the news if they did bacteria. This next news segment is from National Geographic.
Oh, Nat Geo.
Nat Geo, exactly.
Yep, those guys almost hired us once.
I know, so close.
Bastards.
Bastards.
They had a shot.
This story is Fish Can Lie and Spot Liars.
Really?
That's what it says. And the subtitle is An Electric Fish Inflates Its Size to Neighboring Fish to Reduce Competition and Attract Mates.
Okay, I do that. It's easy.
So as the story goes, when Philip Stoddard eyes the fish in his research tanks, he's not admiring their graceful movements. He is wondering which ones are liars. Because Stoddard is a biologist and expert in electric fish at the Florida International University in Miami. He studies how fish are deceitful and how other fish detect their fibs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So many animals...
I never even thought of the word deceitful with fish, but I guess we've seen fish act like other fish or pretend to be female or male or whatever, so...
Yeah, and, maybe everything they do, maybe they're just dirty, filthy liars.
Those damn fish.
The story goes, many animals communicate through an impressive array of techniques, from growling to changing colors to spraying chemicals. So it's unsurprising, Stoddard says, that not all of that communication is honest. And he said, one of the fundamental remaining mysteries of animal communication is how animals know to trust or distrust their fellow creatures.
Right. How do they know?
How do they know? And I actually know there is a species of firefly, lightning bug, that mimics the flashes of other bugs, and when the males come down, they eat them.
Oh. They're just luring them in.
Yeah, because each species of firefly have their own flash patterns.
Yeah.
And they just pretend to be one of the other ones, and they fly right to them and they eat them.
Wow.
I know.
That's crazy.
So he looks at feather knifefish, which is a slim freshwater species from South America. He puts them in plastic tubs on the roof of the building, and because they don't get around the foxes and things that have eaten his research in the past.
Nothing wrecks a research project like a fox eating it.
Yes, that's true. The 8-inch long nocturnal fish generate weak pulses of electricity to map their environment and communicate with each other. That's pretty cool.
That is super cool.
These electric signals, which sound like raspy motorbike engine when played through the speakers attached to Stoddard's tank, give other fish an idea of the size of the broadcasting fish. The bigger the fish can send stronger signals.
Wow.
Yeah. So then it goes on to say he did this experiment where he had females and males together and he gave them worms and things, and then he recorded how their electronic, communication was going, and they would basically lie. So
are they pretending they're not getting much food?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, exactly. They're like, don't come over here. It sucks. Don't come over here.
Awful. There's no food here, you guys.
Yeah. I'm small and weak and hungry. Yeah.
So way smarter than seagulls.
Right. Exactly. Way smarter.
Yeah, because seagulls is always like, hey, there's food here, you guys. And then they fight over it.
That's right. But yeah, so there you go. Feather knife fish. They're communicating through electricity. So
perfect.
I know.
What a great name for a fish.
It is a great name for a fish. The only problem with it is that during thunderstorms, it must just be like somebody yelling.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Will you shut up?
Ah!
For God's sake, man. Just trying to eat.
I know. But there you go. That's Fish in the News.
That's good news.
The doctor is in. Dr. Erica Martin is with us today. Doc,
hey.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderfully. How are you doing?
Wonderfully. That's kind of a boring adjective.
Oh, I know. I used jazz hands the other time. That was much more exciting.
I know. All right, we'll stick with wonderfully.
Oh,
It's all right.
I'll Google more adjectives for the next time.
Okay, good. What fish do you have this time?
Okay, so another fan recommendation.
Oh, good.
With a exact scientific name.
Oh, really?
And the scientific name there's a lot of great scientific names for fish or animals in general. Scientists have a lot of fun. But this one just suits the fish.
Oh.
So the common name is the black scabbardfish.
Okay.
Okay. And it's marine. And the scientific name is Aphanopus carbo.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to describe the fish and then describe the name. So the fish lives deep in the ocean, and it looks kind of like an eel. It's not an eel, but it looks like an eel. Okay. And it's got its head, and then it slowly tapers to the tail.
All right. So it looks kind of like a big comma, sort of, or not even a comma, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like a whip, I guess.
Okay.
But it's got big eyes, and then its mouth is very large and kind of pointy, full of really sharp teeth.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like it came from your nightmare. That's what it looks like.
And what's the name of this fish?
The black scabbardfish. So that's SCABBARD fish.
I'm gonna look this up.
But the scientific name, Aphanopus. So the aphan means unseen and invisible.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun. And the carbo translates to coal. So it's this coal black. It's got an iridescent sheen, and it makes it kind of invisible. And it's got these giant teeth and big eyes, and it's just buzzing around the ocean.
Oh, they look creepy.
Super creepy.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
All right, so... awesome fan recommendation. This one's ridiculous looking, and it's great. So it is. It's out in the ocean. It's kind of deep. We call it in the bathypelagic zone.
Okay.
So it's not in the abyss. It's above that, but most light doesn't get down there. Some does, but pretty much you're in the dark at this point.
All right. So the bathypelagic. So that's just below the showery pelagic, or the.
Oh, the mesopelagic, but I like showery pelagic better for the record.
All right. I'll leave that joke as is. All right.
Okay, and these guys are pretty much not quite the equator. They don't quite get down that far south, and then they go up north into just almost into the Arctic, but not quite.
Oh, okay. And is it are they Atlantic or Pacific?
They are Atlantic.
Oh, okay. All right. So we have them off our coast.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
You would, and you can go line fishing for them.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, they're so bizarre looking, and so the pelvic fins in juveniles are just represented by a single spine. And then as they transition from juveniles to adults, that just goes away. So they have no pelvic fins as adults.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And if you were to catch this fish and you would open up its mouth, the inside of the mouth and the gill cavities are also black.
Ooh, creepy.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like, a creepy, eely nightmare.
It really is. Okay. Man.
Yeah. So, they do reproduce.
Oh, good. That's a good quality in an animal.
And they do have pelagic drifting eggs. So this planktonic kind of life cycle where the eggs are kind of semi-buoyant. They kind of float around and drift with plankton while the larvae develop.
Yeah, okay.
There's
a lot of fish that do that, right?
Oh, yes. Lots and lots of fish. Not only marine fish, but freshwater fish also.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Actually, one of my not colleagues well, I guess he's a colleague. We went to graduate school together, and he works in Tennessee, I believe. Okay. And he did a lot of his dissertation work on freshwater pelagic spawning fishes. Huh. Yeah, you can find them right here in Kansas, it turns out.
Okay.
Well, now maybe another Fish Nerds minute on that one.
Yeah. Add it to the list.
Add it to the list. But the juveniles, they feed and grow for a few years, kind of more in the southern areas, the Faroe Islands and west of the British Isles. Uh-huh. And then they will move south towards mainland Portugal and then even farther south to where the spawning areas are.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep. And it turns out that, well, with these big giant teeth, you can imagine they are predators. Mm-hmm. So while they're taking a bath in the bathypelagic zone, mm-hmm. they are eating things like crustaceans and cephalopods and a lot of other fishes, mostly other fishes.
Yeah, because they have those kind of canine kind of teeth, right? The conical, pointy things. Yeah.
Pointy things. They're good. They attach and they do not let go.
Right. And yeah, I always consider anytime an aquatic animal has those pointy teeth, they're grabbing onto slimy fish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Delicious slimy fish.
Delicious, right.
So as they reproduce, though, most of other fish that would be closely related to this guy tend to develop a little bit faster, but the black scabbardfish has a slow growth rate. So you can imagine that has a lot of consequences if this was a fish food. And it is a fish food.
Oh.
Like a really, really popular one.
Really?
Yeah, especially in Europe.
God.
So it's, yeah.
How do they eat them?
Well, there's lots of different ways. I guess they fillet them is one, or fry. There's a stew that I saw some recipes for. I'm thinking Hugo should check this out.
Yeah.
Because it's a bizarre fish that I can't imagine what it would taste like.
Well, Hugo will try it. If it's out there, he'll try it. Okay.
But apparently it has a huge market value and is very typical in the Southern European diet.
Huh. Okay.
However,
there's always a however with you.
There's two howevers with this one.
Okay.
So the first, however, is because of their slow growth, they tend to have presence of those toxic metals like lead, mercury, and cadmium, which not good. Even in small quantities, those can not be good for people. We could die from that.
All right. So that's a thing. All right.
Yeah. If you do eat it, just be aware and don't eat it all the time, probably.
Probably. Okay.
Right.
All right.
It's the World Health Organization and Food and Ag Organization said that you can eat it. The liver will process some of that stuff. So there's no real health risks as long as you're eating it in moderation. So
I always call these kind of fish old people fish. So like old people should eat them because something else is going to kill the old people.
There you go.
Yeah, so you might as well eat all the toxic fish you want because, you're going to die.
Go big or go home.
Right, exactly. So,
you bet.
Old people fish.
However, maybe not an old people fish.
Oh, no.
Because it's also an incredibly suitable host for the parasite known as Anisakis.
Oh, what does that do?
So that is a parasitic nematode. And they can infect humans. Typically, it's when you eat raw or undercooked fish.
Yeah.
So probably don't put this in a sushi, is what I would say.
Yeah, not a good wow. Ugh, okay.
Yeah, so usually it's in a fillet. You eat it, you don't know, and it goes into your intestines. And within a few hours of ingestion, this little parasitic worm, little nematode, will try to burrow through your intestinal wall. But you're a person, it can't do that for you, so it just gets stuck and then it dies. And so this presence in that intestinal wall triggers an immune response, and so the cells kind of surround the worm or worms. Probably you'll have more than one, and you have little ball-like structures, and that will end up blocking your digestive system, causing really severe abdominal pain. Could be malnutrition, vomiting. Occasionally, if you eat them, you can, and if they're in the upper part of your gut, you can actually regurgitate them.
Oh, nasty.
If the larvae pass into the large intestine or bowel, a severe response may also occur, and that'll actually mimic symptoms of severe Crohn's disease.
Oh.
So, if you eat the black scabbard fish, make sure you thoroughly cook the black scabbard fish.
No kidding. Wow. I'm not sure I need to eat a black scabbard fish.
But this is great. So, they are big. They're a huge market thing in Europe, and actually so big that when I went on, I was looking at scientific literature, besides kind of using otoliths to age these guys and get an idea of the frequency, length, frequency, age distribution, I found numerous scientific articles on the chemical composition and nutritional value of scabbard fish cooked in different ways.
Oh.
And I have that article. I did save it as a PDF, so since I get it for free because I'm university, whoop, whoop, I'm going to make sure that I email it to you and you can post it. And it's great because they just took black scabbard fish, and then they did raw and fried and grilled, and then they tested them for amino acids and lysine and fatty acids and all these other different things, potassium, phosphorus, to see how cooking in different ways affected its nutritional content, since it's such an important food fish in Europe.
Wow. Well, the raw would be good because you'd have extra protein with all the worms.
Oh, God. Yay.
How old do these things get? Because you were saying they're kind of they have a slow growth rate, right?
Yeah, so a relatively slow growth rate, just relative to species that would be closely related. So these guys, they only lived about 12 or 14 years.
No, but still, that's pretty old for like a big pelagic fish. Or not a big one, but like that medium-sized kind. Is that typically when there's a long-lived fish or one that takes a while to get to maturity, fisheries kind of beat those up? How's the fishery for these?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so right now, unfortunately, they're mainly captured in mixed trawl fisheries with other deepwater species, and they are highly vulnerable to overfishing, but my research recovered nothing on anyone actually looking into how that's damaging their population. So given that they are a slow grower, we don't know much about their actual reproductive cycle and survival of eggs, juveniles, and things like that, which all signs point to bad, but no one's actually looked at it to see where it's at.
Well, if you don't look, you don't find the news. So maybe that's where they're at.
Yeah, because I'm sure if someone actually did a study, if it was in depth enough, probably would have to take it off the market, would be my guess.
Yeah. That's usually, it seems to be the case, doesn't it?
Yeah, all slow-growing species, man, that just hits them hard.
Yeah, it really does. It just pulls them too much. But, all right. Well, that... There was a lot with that black scabbard fish. Wow, that's amazing.
And everyone should just Google it and just enjoy how scary it looks.
Yeah, they really look. They sort of have the head part kind of has a pike/barracuda look to it.
Yes, and those big ugly teeth.
Yeah, and those eyes are ginormous.
Yeah, and that's for seeing, to get as much light as they can since they live in somewhere that's so dark.
So wait, did you get a PhD to know that eyes are for seeing?
It's just one of the perks.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good. Eyes are for seeing. I'm writing that down.
The bigger, so they can have more surface area of light. Come on, man.
I know. I'm just busting your chops. But you did, obviously. That's awesome. So, well, yeah, I know, Dave. Yeah. So, black scabbardfish, awesome. Once again, Doc, you've done it again. Delivered a great in-depth fishing thing, or fish thing.
Well, I just keep getting great recommendations.
Oh, there you go. And if listeners have a recommendation, go to our Facebook page and put them on there, and Doc will add them to the list.
You got it.
That is it.
That's it.
You've listened to a couple of nerds when you should have been fishing.
We'd like to thank our families for supporting us while we podcast, go on fishing quests, and do all sorts of silly things that middle-aged guys do. If you would like to support the Fish Nerds, and you should, go to patreon.com and give us $1 a show. $4 a month. Help us keep some wind in our sails.
And a special thanks to Effin West.
Oh, yeah.
That is the amazing James and Fish Guy Josh.
You can find those guys on Instagram. The amazing James is Fish Friend James on Instagram, and Josh is Fish Guy Josh on Instagram.
Yeah, very good stuff. We're going to hear more and more from those guys.
Yeah, for sure. And until next time, follow the code of the Fish Nerds, spawn early and often.
Avoid free lunches with strings attached.
And swim against the current every chance you get. You know, we forgot to thank Doc Martin.
You know, I didn't, but you did.
Oh, did I interrupt you?
Yes, because I was all ready to go. And special thanks to Doc Martin for doing another great segment for the Fish Nerds. But no, you had to go ahead and end it.
I was saving the best for last.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's nice.
Nice.